Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Father at 55. I know it's been a while since I've posted, I think about 3 weeks, almost a month, but thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. I was sick for one weekend and had to go on some family business for the next weekend. So here I am, I'm back and on with the second trimester of Father at 55. So thank you again for watching my content. If you've watched this content and haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And if we make that goal, then what I want to do is I want to do a live. And I have a special presentation to do so we can watch that together and I can have some special guests on as well. So 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's the goal. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you. So yeah, let's get going on the second trimester. So first trimester was really getting prepared to move, like I said, and a couple of ultrasounds that we were able to get to find the sex and hear the heartbeat. So that was awesome. So going into the second trimester, we were actually moving. So that was really the first thing we had to get done. So the moving, moving into this place was a challenge. Not for us actually to move, but for the actual space that we were moving into. It was really, really dirty when we moved in. So,
Ugh. Brother, what's that?
and when you look at an apartment complex and you're looking at the apartment, they have set apartments that you look in, like models or something like that, the ones that are empty. So you can look in, oh, it's clean, it's this, it's whatever. But when you move into the apartment that you selected and the model, you don't really get to see or view it before you move in. So we moved in, we got the keys, came in here, and it was, oh my God. Yeah, it was bad. So, and me and my wife, we're clean freaks. She's more OCD than I am at that. So, and I'm pretty clean. So, yeah, she was not happy. I wasn't happy. So, we ended up cleaning the place and, first we, complained, had somebody come over and, they spot cleaned. They didn't know what they were doing. Obviously from the way it was left. And even after we complained, they didn't clean. So we had to clean it. And, and basically the first, maybe month, we put in probably like 20, service requests, for broken shit. So yeah, it was pretty bad. So, and this is what you call a luxury apartment complex, but it's a COVID build, and all these COVID builds are crappy builds. So, they wanted to, come to Florida, build, have these projects build but and it was about the speed of the build and not the quality of the build. So that was our moving experience. We didn't, like I said, we didn't have any problems moving. Didn't have that much stuff, and we made the commitment to buy a lot of the stuff that we needed for Baby Baller and us to live comfortably, where we're at. So, and that's what we did, over the months leading up to Baby Baller's birth. So that was the move. Okay, so now we're moved in and getting settled and things like that. But like I said, in the first trimester, we weren't really happy with the hospital and the OB that my wife was going to. So I was looking into a new OB for her, and a coworker. She had some ideas. I was talking to her, and she had some ideas because it's we're she's older, fibroids, things like that. So she suggested Jackson Memorial here in Miami. So looked into them, and they specialize in geriatric births. Geriatric pregnancy, not birth, and that's Benjamin Button crap. So
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
but geriatric pregnancies and fibroids and things like that. So they specialized in that. So it was really, really great. We made an appointment, and really, really liked the doctor, the initial doctor that we went to, and really felt that they knew that what they were talking about. They asked us questions, things like that, and made sure that we felt really, really comfortable. So really, really great experience. I really thank my coworker for suggesting Jackson Memorial. And if anyone in the Miami area is has a pregnancy, upper ages, 40s, something like that, and has fibroids or anything like that, I really suggest Jackson Memorial because they're really, really good. So we ended up choosing Jackson Memorial. Felt really good about that, and we were progressing really, really, really well. And that was really kind of November, and going into December of the second trimester, we had a scare. So just like I mentioned in the first trimester, we had a really bad scare. So one night, we were chilling at home. My wife goes to the bathroom and notices some bleeding. So she's bleeding. She's freaking out. I'm freaking out. So we go to the hospital. And we go in, and Google's, a good thing, bad thing. We were Googling stuff, and and some of the stuff wasn't promising. So we get to the hospital, and like I said, when my wife found out she was pregnant, she was crying, but she wasn't boohooing. This was the first time I saw her, um, you know, really, really emotional and crying, about this. So it was, it was scary, and so my job was to, keep her calm, keep her confident, and and stay cool myself, So that was my job because I did not want her to have any extra stress and have any more complications, and we didn't know what was going on anyway. So we get in, and basically we get there like at 11 o'clock, at night. Okay, so I'd gone to work. We had been up all day, so we get there at 11 o'clock at night, and so I'm reserved to basically be up the whole night. So I'm cracking jokes. I'm making her feel comfortable and things like that. And we go in with the ultrasound, and what's going on? What happened basically is the placenta was low. Okay, it was low in the cervix, and we were still having sex. So that can be a problem. So when you have it low and you're still having sex, you can cause some bleeding. It wasn't anything serious. We basically had to stop having sex. So that sucked. But anything for her health and the health of the baby. So that was what was going on. Placenta was low, and so no sex. So from that point on. So the good thing is that gradually the placenta moved. It moved up to the upper part of the uterus, and where it was supposed to be. So that was good. But for precautions and stuff like that, we just didn't have any sex. That scared the crap out of us. So yeah, that was that was a moment. And honestly, that night, and seeing her, what we went through, basically staying up the whole night, almost 24 hours, and us getting through it and not getting at each other's throats, and blaming each other, and things like that. There was none of that. It was me, keeping her, keeping everything light, and telling her everything was going to be okay.
This guy gets it. I like him.
And she's not blaming me, or afterwards, or anything like that. It was just, we're glad everything's good and everything's great. So that right there, really showed me, her character, and it showed her, my willingness to do, anything to make her, feel comfortable. So it was just another step in our evolution and our relationship, and another kind of solidifying moment, if you would say, on in our relationship. So it was a good, it was a good it was a good moment. And I say that because not a lot of couples, get to go through those moments early on in a relationship, so you're not really tested, so yeah, I'm glad we were tested in that way early on, so we can know, what's really up. So that was that moment. Okay, and we had another couple of ultrasounds, during that time. Really, baby baller was progressing, growing, and so we were able to, and he's taking shape, and we were able to see, his face a little bit, lips, and then kind of arms, legs, forming, this kind of stuff. So that was really, really, really great. And the ultrasound during the hospital visit, that was really informative, and it was really detailed, and we got to see the blood flow, from the placenta to the baby, and how the organs were working, the heart, basically, because all the other stuff hadn't really been formed yet, but the heart is forming, and little arms, and little fingers, kind of thing. So and that's, every ultrasound, I'm looking for digits. I'm like, okay, does it got 10 fingers, 10 toes, everything good. So that was my thing. But yeah, so the ultrasounds, baby baller was progressing, growing, and developing. So that was really good.
You know the gender?
Yes, that's cool.
He's a boy.
There it is, right there.
No. Ow. He's all exposed. He's all exposed.
We confirmed, the what we already knew from, the last ultrasound in the first trimester, which was, it was a boy. So, but we confirmed, they do the ultrasound, get the organ and stuff, and they point to it. Boy or male, or something like that. So the ultrasounds were great. Nothing, no issues, no problems, no nothing. So yeah, I think in the second trimester we did the anatomy ultrasound, basically going through all of the organs and stuff. I think that was late on in the second trimester. So we did that. The spine, the skull, brain, kidneys, heart, lungs, things like that. All of making sure all of the organs are working as they're supposed to be, developing the way they were supposed to be. So, and everything was great. Everything was good. And during this time, we also took a couple of trips. Okay. I went on just like the one of the shirts I was wearing in the last, I think it was the last one. Yeah. The patois shirt that I was wearing in the first trimester video. That was, I went on the Welcome to Jamrock reggae cruise in December 2024. So I went on that cruise in 2022. And that year, I really, really enjoyed because it was the first one after the COVID lockdowns, and everybody was really, really happy just to be around people, because it's a worldwide event. People from all over the world go on that cruise. So they were, different countries had different levels of lockdown, so me living in Florida, it was pretty wide open. So, but everybody was really happy. It was just kind of more like a family kind of vibe. 2024 was different because it just seemed like a club on a boat, honestly, so it didn't really have that kind of vibe, to it. So, but still enjoyed myself. It was, now I went by myself in 2022, but you have to pay for double occupancy. So basically I'm paying for two people. Okay. So, but going by myself. So, this year, now my wife, she was too far along to go, because they don't have the medical, if something goes wrong with the pregnancy or something like that, they don't have the medical staff on there to take care of that stuff. So she was too far along. And so what she decided to do was, while I was on the cruise, she flew out to see her sister in North Carolina. So while I was on the cruise, she didn't want to be by herself. So she went to North Carolina to be with her sister. So that was the couple of trips that we had. So she had fun, I had fun, and came back. And most a lot of the times every day I was FaceTiming her on WhatsApp, so letting her know concerts and stuff, recording that stuff for her. So which was good, and she was letting me know how she was, checking, I was checking on her and things like that. So it was good. And when those days were up and we came back from the cruise, I was very, very happy to be home and see her and make sure everything was good. So those were the trips. Had a great time. But now the last really eventful thing that we had going on in the second trimester was we traded in my wife's car. Okay, so we wanted to wait until after I came back from the cruise, and we had researched cars and things like that. And the most important thing was size and safety. So of course, because we're, have car seats, strollers, stuff like that. So the most important thing was size and safety. So we went with a Lexus. And so, in December, Lexus has the, December to Remember, event where they have low interest rates. And so, and at a time when interest rates are high, the low interest rates, was really, really good. So, and my wife's car at the time was a Subaru BRZ. Okay, it was basically a sports car. Okay, manual, and she picked a manual. That's how. Yeah, she from Jamaica. Her dad was a cab driver in Jamaica. So so yeah, she was used to driving at high speeds and kind of crazy. So that's what she was doing. So that car was so small. See, and I have my car is a sedan. Okay, so it has it's a large kind of big body sedan. So I have a lot of windows, and so I can see. And I usually, the new cars, they have the blind spot mirror, indicators and stuff like that. But I'm old school, and I know those things fail, so I'm still used to looking at blind spots and things like that. So that's what I do. So I'm driving her car one day, and taking it to go get gas and things like that and whatever. So man, that thing has so many blind spots in it and less windows and stuff. I almost got hit like twice. I was like, man, I'm good. I'm good. I know how to drive a manual. I learned how to drive on a manual, but I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. You can drive this thing. I'm used to my car. I'm straight. So, but we ended up trading that car, and it was because one, it was low, it was too small, and her belly was getting bigger. So, and it's not the right car that we need. So, she traded that car in, and now the car was kind of jacked. She had run that car, and plus Subaru, and sports cars really don't go together. So, but we didn't really know. We looked at the Kelly Blue Book, things like that, and surprisingly for the year and how many miles on it and things like that, it was come back with a good value, trade-in value. So, we were kind of surprised. So when we ended up, we went to a couple of dealerships and stuff like that to get, estimates on the trade-in value. And once we got that kind of feel, then we went to, we searched for the Lexus, that we wanted. Went to the dealership and made the deal. So and they actually gave us more for our trade-in than it was worth. So and that car was gone like that. It was somebody came and scooped that thing up, or probably somebody from the dealership wanted it. So so it was gone. But we ended up trading the car for a crossover Lexus, crossover, kind of style Lexus, and it's been working really, really great. And so that was really, really the last kind of event we had in the second trimester. So went through a lot of things, the moving and changing OBs. The kind of scare at the hospital, the trips, and the car trade-in. So, had a lot of things going on in the second trimester. So, it was eventful and fun. And it was at the end of the year, holidays and things like that. So, we got to be around a lot of family and family giving a lot of suggestions on pregnancy, to my wife and, things like that. So, it was a good time. It was a really, really good time. And like I said, from the scare, we really found out, kind of, a more solidifying moment for our relationship, which was great. So, so yeah, I really enjoyed that trimester, and going into the third trimester, we were really, really getting prepared for Baby Baller and getting that. You have the baby shower, of course. You have the last ultrasounds and getting prepping and and all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to doing that video. I promise it won't be it won't be a month in between that video. That video will be at least the longest length between this one and that one will be 2 weeks. So definitely come back with that video soon. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And lastly, what I'm wearing. the hoodie. This hoodie is from a company called Veii, VEII. Okay, and black owned. It's from a young cat that played college football and decided he wanted to take on Under Armour. So and really make a brand that gives back to the black community and helps kids and things like that. So and his motto, here it is right here. That's on the hood. I love the lion logo right here. Love that. And with the crown. So that's on the hood. And on the back is the motto. I don't know if you can see it, but it says, be the difference. That is their motto. So has that on the back of the hoodie going vertical. And I love their hoodies. I really do. They're light. Being in Miami with the heat and the humidity and stuff like that, they're really light. So they're good to go to the gym in, and good to go to the gym in. And they have joggers. I really love their joggers as well. They have the lion on the jogger and be the difference going down one of the legs. So I'll leave a link to their website in the description. Go check them out. It's great stuff, and I really, really suggest you guys, get a couple of their things. You'll really, really, really like them. Okay, with that, I'm out, and again, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll do more engagement, leave comments and things like that. I'm learning, more to do to engage with you guys and keep you guys engaged, which is good for the channel. And maybe have some conversations, like I said, regarding being an older father and going through this process. So again, thanks for watching. Remember, mindset is the only word you can control. WFAW. Peace.